Welcome to the Brett Davis Podcast.
Well, happy 2024. This is our first podcast of 2024. We've been relaxing and we have not been in Hawaii. We had COVID in the house and we were trying to get over that. But finally, we're back. And what a great way to start the new year, because I'm sure people are still, myself included, trying to get rid of the Christmas cookies and the things that we're not supposed to be eating all the time. So Jeffrey Reiman's here with me today, who is online fitness expert and also a competitive bodybuilder and former, of course, Marine. We're going to talk a little bit about all that and how that all transpired. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Brett. Really happy to be here.
And I meant to say Jeff.
No worries.
Okay. So you're a former Marine. Let's talk about your athletic background. Let's talk about the Marines first and how.
Okay.
We'll go right there because that kind of cuts into the military theme.
You know, I was in the infantry, so kind of typical Marine fashion. I was like a former wrestler and football player. Got in there and kind of got in step with the enlisted ranks. Did my 4 years, but during that 4 years, we did 2 deployments, and it was just kind of a strange time in the 90s. 93, 97 is when I served on active duty. Learned a lot, met a lot of good people. And when the end of my contract came up, I was ready to get out and move on to something else. But over there on the infantry side, like, you got to be in shape. So,
oh yeah, well, Marines are very conditioned, very
especially on the ground side. Like, you better be in shape. If you're leading Marines in one way or another as an NCO, you need to be in shape. You know, you're running a platoon, you got to be in shape all the time. So fitness over there was just nonstop. You know, we're always doing something hard out in the field, or if we're in garrison, we're running or training, or if it starts raining, we're going for a run, you know, or just running the O course. Nonstop PT was kind of the way back then. And I didn't mind that so much. It was fine. Just
did it condition you? Do you think? I mean, because sometimes the Marines make people more disciplined and more focused. In your case, how did it help you?
I liked it. Before I joined when I was 20, and I just turned 20, and I was kind of a late bloomer. So I was probably like 165 pounds. I was kind of small. Went into boot camp, and all of a sudden, eating like 3 square meals a day. When I came out of boot camp, I was 185 pounds. You know, I bulked up, filled out, and then I went into the fleet. After that, I went through School of Infantry in the fleet, and kind of really filled out, kind of came into my own. I hit the weights, did the cardio, did the running, all, you know, the humps, the ruck marches and stuff. And my body just took right to it. And
they fed you well.
Pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can complain about the MREs and all this stuff, but that's part of the job. Sometimes you went a little bit without food, but for the most part, we had food available. It was good. But I really filled out. And then I really just adopted getting in a routine. You know, if the gym was available, I went every evening. You know,
it's a therapy in itself, isn't it?
Indeed it is. There was a time where I think we're on rotation to go to deployment. I was able to run in the morning, swim at lunch,
wow,
and lift weights in the evening. And I was just, this is awesome.
That's a great life.
It was short, but I really fell in love with just working out a couple times a day.
Well, I would love to do that now.
Oh yeah, well, same,
right?
Same. Yep.
So you go into the Marines, and did you have a career path at that time?
I really didn't. I wasn't focused when I went in the Marines about what I wanted to do.
You were there for 4 years.
4 years. I figured I'd just go in law enforcement, and I fulfilled my contract, got out, and I remember driving off base thinking, this is it. I'm not coming on base again. And then lo and behold, my neighbor at the time, who worked for Raytheon, got me a job washing helicopters on the air station at Camp Pendleton. So a couple months later, I was right back on base servicing Hueys and Cobras, which ultimately led to the career I'm in now as a civilian. But yeah, I didn't really have any real plans. I was just going to go to school, and I did, you know, general studies, liberal arts, did some electronic stuff, ended up getting like 4 associate's degrees. And then
4 associate's degrees?
Yeah, 4 associate's degrees. Yeah. I wanted to get one in like advanced electronic technology. So it kind of held me at Palomar College for a little while. So I said, well, while I'm here, I'll just bang out a couple extra classes and knock out another one. So I did that too. And all that basic studies I did and all the classes helped me when I got in the Air Force as a reservist to get to what they call it, community college associate's degrees from them too. So
that's pretty. That's
kind of a feather in your hat, in your cap.
Yeah, but it's pretty impressive. So how did the becoming a trainer, and I mean, because you do compete, there's no question you compete. You look phenomenal.
Oh, thanks.
So tell us, you did some shows first. Is that how it happened?
It did. Well, I first got certified as a trainer in like, I think it was 97 or 98 with AFA. And I trained some clients, and I kind of drifted away from that and just really kind of went to informal kind of training about how to write you a program instead of just face-to-face training with people. And I did that for a lot of years. And I remember things were different back in the 90s. You probably remember just the way the gyms are set up, the way the training programs were, the protocols, and then some of the fitness classes. I remember back then I took some spin classes in the 90s, and they were treacherous. It was just different then. You know, spin classes in the 90s, spin classes in like 2008, 10, they got easier for some reason. And anyways,
interesting.
You know, my perspective on that, a lot more, I think it was just hardcore back then.
We have some questions. Remarks. Brian, Big Country.
You know, yeah, I've met him in person. I know him.
Says, "What's up, brother? Hope you're having a good day." And says he misses you.
Okay. Love you, bro.
Very nice. I'm sure we're going to get some more responses.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Oh yeah,
very motivational,
inspirational. Yeah.
Is that what he said? Okay. So tell him we said hi. By the way, I've not Big Country. I've not talked to you in a while. Happy New Year. Hope to look forward to talking to some of the things you're going to be doing this year as well and catching up. Great guy. So you did these shows. You did pretty well. And then did you ever kind of flirt with the idea of like, I would love to be a trainer?
Definitely. It's kind of always been in my wheelhouse. And, you know, my wife actually pushed me to go into bodybuilding and do my first show in 2020. I wanted to get in really good shape to see if I could. And I got an online coach, and he kind of showed me the way. Alex Ingram,
I've heard the name.
He laid down the blueprint, and I ran with it. And within 6 weeks, I was like shredded. I was like, wow, look at this. And I was like 4 months away from going on deployment with the Air Force. So I had a little bit of time to wiggle around. My wife's like, hey, you know, I tell you really like the way you look. Like we talked about, like you've talked about over the years, maybe want to do a show. Now's probably the time. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So at Metroflex, I had another trainer there, Big Lou, awesome dude.
Is that where you currently train?
I train there, yeah. And
is that which one's that?
Metroflex Oceanside off
Oceanside.
Street.
Okay.
Yep. Awesome gym.
Yeah, I've heard that.
They've recently done some facelifts over there, so it's actually an incredible gym, and it's a bodybuilding gym. So I hooked up with a trainer, Paul over there, Paul Lagoda, with Flex Academy, and dialed me in to do my first show, did Excalibur in 2021.
Yeah, that's a big show.
It was a tough one because you're crossing over Thanksgiving, you're crossing over Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then early to mid December. And I remember that show when the promoter was talking to everybody about, hey, you guys did it. Congratulations. Like you're kind of like that 1%, because so many people talk about doing a bodybuilding show.
It's true.
And it's one thing to be in shape, but to take it to the next level, that was something else. And I felt pretty good about that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So Mr. Universe, that's awesome.
Well,
that's impressive.
But I won the senior division. We use posing trunks. We use Depends diapers.
That's good. You know, my friend's gonna use that joke on me now. You know.
So then you decided that online training was something you wanted to do instead of the one-on-one stuff.
Definitely, yeah. I think I'd reach more people, help more people,
yeah,
and also, you know, impact some people's lives, or just help somebody find those missing puzzle pieces, like Alex did with me.
Good coaches can do that.
Totally. And it's inspiring when the coach is in good shape too, you know, and you see they're walking the path. They say, like, personifying the teachings, like walking the walk and showing you the way.
Uh-huh.
If you got a question about something, well, they say, well, this is what I do, and
So we for the average person that's never had a personal trainer, there's a lot more to personal training and working with a client than just doing 3 more of these and 4 more of those,
Mhm.
isn't there?
There is, on some level, you got to get to know them a little bit, because it's you're crossing over into, like, tell me what you want out of this. What are your goals going to be? How can I help? I'm here to help you reach your goals. And you're gonna have to probably be a little vulnerable with me with, hey, I slipped
Yeah.
up on my diet. This is what I really ate. Shoot, I slipped up, and this is I'm not gonna hold back sending my weights in or my check-in photos. This is where I'm really at. And that's the accountability piece.
Sure.
And then you've got, sounds like you have some habits to change.
How
So,
much of what you do also applies to their personal life and somehow
mhm.
strengthens that area as well?
Oh, indeed. Because you have an end goal of being shredded or being toned or losing 30 pounds of body fat. You got that. But along the way of attaining that goal, you find out so much about yourself. It's the journey. And that really applies, especially in fitness. And this bleeds over into all aspects of your life. The positive mindset, the follow through, the habits, structuring your day to fit your meals in, structuring your day to fit in a workout. You know, a lot of times, early morning wake up, finding peace, getting gratitude, and then doing some cardio.
Mhm.
You know, having meal one ready to go. And this, talk about this a lot of my friends, just having some non-negotiable things you got to do.
Yeah.
So you start negotiating with that small inner voice inside your head. Don't want to do that. That's how you give in and kind of choose pleasure
Right.
over the task you got to do.
Absolutely. So the military, I was talking to some gentlemen earlier that were former vets,
Mm,
and one thing I was telling them about the show we were going to do tonight, because I think our show has a very strong appeal to veterans because it's very self-help for the veteran. And what I like about what we do is, for a lot of people that are in the service, a lot of them don't know what they're going to do when they leave the service.
mhm.
And you've tried different things. Like you said, you had 4 degrees, associate degrees. You became this trainer. I think there's more military out there that probably would want to do what you're doing, that you probably could even mentor.
Oh, for sure. It's
Have
available.
have they reached out to you
Some
personally?
have. Yeah, and it's totally possible. This is how I started. This is how I got,
Because it's
you
a
know
wonderful career.
oh, for sure. And there's so many people out there that they just don't know. And you get stuck on a rut, especially, you know, if you felt like maybe you lost your identity a little bit.
Mhm.
You're a veteran coming out. I was a ranger, I was Army guy. Everybody knew me as the guy in uniform. I was always in shape.
So
And then
you were a ranger.
no, I was not. But I'm just saying,
Oh,
like, those guys. I
okay.
was in the Marines. I was
Hypothetical.
hypothetically, yeah. Like, some of those guys, they get out and they kind of crash hard. But there's a way forward. It's got to know there's a way forward. And picking yourself up, dusting yourself off. Like, y'all know how to do it. You know, but I'm here to help you with a roadmap to get there
I can see
and
you
where to
I
start.
can see you reaching more people in the military and helping guide them that way. That might be another thing you might
Sure,
consider doing. I don't know if you've thought more about it.
I have, and I've discussed it with Rob
I think
Garcia.
I think it'd be a great pathway for them as well as yourself, because especially the way the world is right now, there's so
Mhm.
much chaos. People need direction, they need mentorship, they need good positive stories, somebody that's been there, done that, but somebody also that's still there to listen.
Definitely, and the core things that you gain in the military, leadership, about discipline, about excellence, about pride,
Mhm.
about brotherhood, and sisterhood, and taking care of each other, cover and move, and finding that together, like a band of brothers is important. And that's one of the things I'm trying to offer is, like, hey, come join my team, you know, and we can figure it out. I can help you figure it out, and we can also figure stuff out together. I'm constantly
Mhm.
learning. I not like I
Well, it
know
never
everything.
stops.
It never
Yeah, it
stops.
never stops.
One of the things I learned from my online coach Alex is about how do you balance being vulnerable as a father.
That's
you
good.
know,
That's a
and
really good question.
you know, and so much of it boils down to, well, there's really no difference. You you shouldn't be a different person around your kids as you are around everybody else.
Right.
There's no mask that's going to protect, you know, what you look like. People are going to see right through it.
Sure.
So
After a while, you can tell, you can spot a fraud
indeed,
very quick.
so just be that person all the time, you know. And I kind of like tell my kids, it's like, well, pretend like me and your mom are looking right over your shoulder, when you're going to go make this bad decision.
5.
Well, I have a stepson.
So you believe in the
4
hand,
back.
you believe in the hand philosophy of life. So you have another hand, you know that. So you could have 5 more, right? It's not going to happen.
It's
No.
not- yeah,
Tell us
I've been
about
blessed.
a success story of somebody that you worked with as an online client.
It
comes to mind.
Right now, one of my most recent clients, he's on deployment, hit me up halfway through, and he said, "Hey, like, I want to come home with a different look. I have an idea what to do, and here we are." He's right into the program, making changes, applying, and I'm not there all the time to talk with him. I kind of gave him the blueprint, and I check in with him because he's in a remote area, but he's able to count his macros, dial in his food, get his cardio in, get his workouts in.
Wow.
Sometimes work a 16-hour shift.
That's impressive.
And he wants it, and
when you want something, you'll find a way.
And you know what? And I'm really proud of this guy because the effort he's putting in is phenomenal, and it's inspiring for like everybody. I look at that, it's like that's a reason for me to stay in shape, because
Sure,
he's got a lot of things stacked against him, and I know he's pumped to come home with a different look. He's got little kids that look up to him. He's the leader of his family type thing, and his wife, they got a great relationship, and that's, I think, one of the best things I've done recently is that, because he's transforming himself into something I don't think he was capable of getting to.
You made the help that become reality.
I just kind of showed him, these are the things you got to do. You got to make some changes, and I go through some questions. Fix this, stop doing that, wake up this time, do this amount of cardio throughout the day, try and hit these meals. Try and have 2 good meals before you hit your resistance training, and then here's your training plan.
Do you think the nutrition is harder than the exercise?
I think the nutrition's harder than exercise.
See, I think it is too.
Look what's available to us. We live in a phenomenal
especially
country.
If you like food.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, most humans like food,
right?
I'm right there too, but it's delayed gratification, right? You put it off.
Yeah. The feeling of being in control of making yourself better or worse, when you're able to conquer that, it's a high in itself, and it gets you wanting to do better.
Yep. You get addicted to that.
Yeah.
Because you're stacking these perfect days. Oh my gosh, I hit every meal on time, hit my workouts on time.
Imagine
going to bed right about the time I should.
So what you're saying, overcoming obstacles in a day-to-day situation by living this lifestyle, you're adding more positive things that are overpowering these negative things that are trying to conquer you.
Oh, indeed. Because the negativity is always there, and it's always trying to work its way in.
Yeah.
And how do you face it?
How do people go through life without having an outlet? Can you imagine with all the challenges in your life, if you didn't have training and you didn't have nutrition, what would your life be like?
I don't know. I see a lot of folks, just their outlet's television or video games.
And how do they seem though?
They seem disconnected.
They may not really happy.
They don't seem happy. If you're healthy and feeling healthy, it's just going to make you happier. If you're happy and you're on the way to being healthy, there's something said about that also. Taking that first step, making some changes. Our bodies are just wanting to deteriorate after a certain age. And the more you do with your body, the more movement, the more you challenge your body, you're just going to slow that process down. And, you're an example of it. I feel like I'm an example of it. Just don't stop. You can slow down with some of your fitness, but just don't stop.
I couldn't physically go the day without having some type of training, and I would just lose it. I think it keeps me. It's kind of like my area of Zen. It's my area of therapy.
It's indeed exactly what it is for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenges, and sometimes I dread some of my workouts. And
Sure,
that's no,
not really though, because even when you're doing it, you feel good.
Yeah, I get there, and I haven't taken pre-workout in a few years.
Really,
I just don't.
You don't need it.
I don't really need it because I know once I get to the gym and I start moving around, I got like a warm-up sequence that I do, and
that's all you need.
And like 5-10 minutes into it, my body's up and ready. Like,
so do you do anything like, do you eat beets? Do you drink coffee? I mean,
black coffee in the morning.
I love black coffee.
Oh yeah, black coffee. So I put sweetener in it.
Yeah.
0 calorie sweetener. I like that. Before I pre-workout, no, I try to get
very interesting.
I try to get two good meals in there before I train.
Yeah, so your body's ready, prepped, and ready to go.
Yeah.
So, anybody out there that's thinking about doing online training, what is the type of client you're looking for?
I'll take all comers. If you don't know where to start, that's a big one. If you haven't been in the gym for years or you feel intimidated, there's a way forward. I'll get you going. Also, somebody that's been stuck at the intermediate level and needs a push, or like where I was at, a couple different puzzle pieces to get you there. It's like getting the 20-yard line and I can't get in the end zone.
Horrible.
And that's what the online coach did for me and got me in the end zone. This is great. And that's what I want to do for people too. If you're, trudging down the field and you don't know how to get a first down, don't know how to get in the end zone, don't know how to score, that's where I can come in and help, and we can figure it out and what you're missing. And a lot of times it's just maybe breaking a couple bad habits and not giving in to your inner voice of overindulging in junk food. And you think you're tracking your macros correctly. You think you're eating clean. But when it comes down to it, you got to be honest with yourself. How many calories are you really consuming at Starbucks?
People don't really realize until they start tracking it.
And restaurant food is amazing, but there's a time and a place for it. They don't cook restaurant food to taste like cardboard.
That's true.
They say
they want you to come back.
Sure. And it's supposed to be delicious. How you make food a lot of times is really, really delicious. Yeah, a lot of fat to it.
Does that mean Texas Roadhouse is bad?
It just depends, but that's like a family favorite over here.
Texas Roadhouse.
We haven't been in a while.
Do you like them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you like the hot rolls?
Oh, yes, sir.
So
our whole family does.
You're talking about the steaks. I think that they put illegal drugs in the rolls. I think there's something in those rolls that are.
Well, so much food's been like genetically modified in the last 10 years,
right? That
like it's supposed to do that. All the ingredients.
They want people to come back.
That's right.
Repeat business.
Yep. And it's amazing when you eat clean for like a week. You eat clean for 2 weeks. Let's say you stack 3 weeks of eating clean whole foods, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I can indulge in a cookie, or I can have a roll from here, and like some switch flips, and all of a sudden your eyes go to swirls, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't turn it off. Because it's like a drug.
So you're saying you can't just eat one roll?
No, I can't.
Really?
Well, I can if I'm eating pretty normal, not in a deficit.
I wouldn't even go there.
Exactly.
You don't even bother going there if you're on the diet.
Oh, yeah. If I'm in a deficit and I'm working towards a goal to get like,
you're better off just eating your own food.
Yeah,
eating your own prep.
And people be like, "Well, just have one."
Yeah, they don't understand.
They don't understand.
Or maybe they do.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna have one. I'll be thinking of that one. I'll be thinking about it until I go to bed.
They're like, I'm gonna watch him eat that one roll. He's gonna lose his shit. He's gonna snap. He's just gonna like
you turn into the Cookie Monster.
Bring some more.
Yeah,
more rolls for everybody.
But you learn that about yourself as you go through, the years of I wouldn't say yo-yo dieting, but just getting to know yourself, how your body reacts to food. Yeah. How your body digests food. Like it's easy, chicken and rice or fish and vegetables. You'll get shredded. But how does your body digest it? How does your body react?
Because everybody's different too.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody out there, what's your basic program like if they wanted this to work out? What is a basic program?
Basic program, a list of foods.
Okay.
So you can get a grocery list together, and then putting together your macros throughout the day.
Okay.
So, you know, proteins, fats, carbohydrates. I can put together, a meal plan for somebody: 160 grams of rice, 160 grams of chicken, but it's how the chicken's prepared. So generally I boil the chicken type thing, but some of these elaborate plans you see online with, like, what kind of grocery list are you supposed to get at the store? Let's keep it kind of simple.
Not just that, but what can you afford?
Exactly.
Because food costs have gone up.
Yep.
Right.
So I've done bodybuilding shows on just eating Walmart food. So great value food. It can be done 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I've used Walmart's my favorite go-to for meal prep.
It's affordable. They have everything.
Yeah.
And I get it, organic this, organic that, and those other things. You look into them. Is there really that much of a difference?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you look at the studies, they don't know either. But basic program, good clean carbohydrates. Starts with that. Don't go crazy with the fats. Pick some good fat sources and kind of stick. Avocado's a great one. Almond butter's great, but it's also delicious. Macadamia nut oil.
Yeah.
Olive oil. Add some of that. But I found also, especially with men, the meats we're eating. So even if you're eating chicken breast and lean beef or tilapia or eggs or egg whites,
wild tuna.
Sure. There's some fats built in there.
Oh yeah.
There just is. And it's really hard to track that stuff. So knowing there's already fats in those meats, you don't need a whole lot, and if somebody wants to get really shredded and they're already at a decent spot or have a lot of fat to lose, you don't need a whole lot of fat throughout the day added to your food, and you'll put it into a tracker and they'll kind of have the fats kind of dialed in for that. But really, when I put somebody's meal plan together for that, it's like, let's not get the grocery list out of control.
Right.
Oats,
oatmeal,
cream of rice.
Yeah.
It's a good breakfast.
So the same place. So I mean,
have some fruits, green beans, vegetables, green beans, spinach, white rice. I like white rice. So jasmine rice.
Yeah. I like that's what I do is jasmine. So I think anybody out there, basically, you can afford the eating. So I know food costs have come up for a lot of people, but Walmart is doable and it is affordable. And Jeffrey's doing it. I mean, he's a walking embodiment of what he's done. And I think a lot of you could benefit. January is pretty much over, but you know what? There's still another 11 months. And wouldn't it be nice to just be this year, make this the best year that you could be your best physically, mentally, and
Right.
Did I say physically? And physically, of course.
They go hand in glove.
They do. So what would you tell somebody out there that's thinking about hiring you or getting online coaching? What would you tell them? What would you want them to know that maybe they're not aware of?
What value do you want brought to your life? What do you want to get out of a program you're going to invest in? What's the return you want on this investment? Because I'm here to help you get there. But like, how ready are you to show up and bring it? And that's going to help us both. I can show you the way, but you got to get up and you got to take those first steps. And I got you from there.
There you go. You look great. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Brett.
And you're still active. You're in the Air Force.
Air Force Reserve still.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks, Brett.
Continue to go, man. You're amazing. You're an amazing inspiration. I find that a lot of the people that we get on the show, we're all kind of like built the same way mentally, the way we think about stuff. And it just seems we draw that energy, that type of individual to the show. If you have any questions, we have an email website up there for people can reach him. Good. Reach out to him. He knows his stuff. He's the guy. He looks phenomenal. He walks the talk. And even our vets that are out there, even non-vets, give him a call if you have questions. That's what he's passionate about, and that's what he's good at. You have any other things you want to say?
That wraps it up. That sums it up. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, all of you, Jeffrey, I appreciate you being on the show. And all of you out there, if you have any comments or ideas or thoughts you want to ask us, and maybe you missed this time or you see the show later on and you want to get a hold of Jeffrey, please contact us or him. And And I want to thank my sponsors. Are the sponsors rolling on there at all? We don't have the sponsors rolling on there. Wow. This is like the Walmart of podcast. So I want to thank Attorney King for everything he does. He's just a great, amazing person. Sequan Casino Spa and Resort, our partners, the two individuals, of course, Sequan and Attorney King are our major sponsors for the biggest educators event in San Diego, where we honor everybody in education. We even honor coaches. So it's a great thing to be involved with. Thank you to them. Mule Jewelers, where I take all my my jewelry and my swag. Matter of fact, the battery went on this watch. I'll be taking it pretty soon to for them to put a new battery in. And of course, who else did I leave out that's been very, very gracious? We have a lot of sponsors. Oh, how can I forget Bonafacetta, the garage in Coronado, who's also a very good. Oh my God, you want to have a good cheat meal or naan? He does a good fish there. Very good pasta. Bonafacetta, the garage. And Marco, thank you very much. Everybody take care, and we look forward to seeing you in the next podcast, and have a good night.